What's going on, guys? I'm a little bored today, so I'm in the car. I don't even, it's nighttime out, you know? I got nothing to do. I got off work. I'm just chilling now. So I thought, why not make a video while I go on a drive? I was gonna get some kind of snack from the market that's by my house. So let's go. Anyways, I was just thinking, what do you actually do, like, when you feel like you just wanna isolate yourself, you know? Like, you just don't want to do anything anymore. Like, you're tired of life, you know? Maybe you got some happiness here and there, but for the most part, it's just like the same thing in and out every single day, you know what I'm saying? That's your life. Clock in, clock out, that's your entire life. And I was just thinking about, what do you do when you get to that point, you know? Like, you know, you got the job you wanted, but then what's after that, you know? Like, the excitement wears off, and then you're just going back to the regular 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. You go home, watch some TV, you know, or, you know, if you're married, spend some time with your wife, or even better yet, if you got a family, spend some time with your family. But then, you know, you go to bed, and you wake up and you do the same thing over and over again, and that's your life. I was just thinking about that because, you know, it's bound to happen. I mean, unless I become like super successful, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be my life. I don't know if I want to come to accept that or what. I'm not really sure, if I'm being honest. 2-hour parking. Hold up. Let's see if I can go down here. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to necessarily accept that. 2-hour parking. Okay, this is all 2 hours. You know, 2 hours. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking for some parking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll just circle around, honestly. Yeah, I was just thinking about that because I feel like, isn't that just what happens to like everybody at some point? It just becomes the usual existing. And some people try and say that, oh, this is just what happens. You know, you gotta come to terms with the reality that not everyone's just gonna magically make it in life, and this and that. I'm just gonna park here for a second. I guess the real question is, am I okay with that? Is anyone okay with that? I feel like in the future, you know, I plan on marrying my girlfriend and having a family. I feel like you don't hear a lot of opinions from the happy guy who's married and has kids, right? You don't hear them saying how miserable their life is compared to all these, you know, single people. They don't have anything in life. They don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend, you know. These guys and girls, they're alone, isolated. I was like that too. And they don't see it, you know? They don't have that love in their life that they so desperately need. Because I feel like, you know, once you find your partner, I think the 9 to 5 gig kind of feels more worth it, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, you start to understand why you're doing the things you do. As a single person who struggles with loneliness, I'm not single anymore, but when I was single, it's hard to really see the point in things because you don't have that person in your corner, you know? Closing in on 4 months of my relationship, and before I met her, I didn't have that person in my corner. And now that I do, everything makes more sense now. And I think I'm willing to do the whole 9 to 5 thing because I'll have her and I'll have our children at some point in the future. And to me, I think that makes it worth it. to someone who's single and maybe doesn't have a lot of even friends in their life, and, you know, doesn't have a loved one that they can take care of, I think it's a lot more difficult for them to see the bigger picture. But I'm telling you, once you're in love, that's that, you know? I clock into work, I'm looking at my phone, I'm just looking at a picture of her. It's worth it, dude. It feels worth it after that point. You know, I went for a random drive right now just to talk about this because she's on my mind so much. And because of her, it feels like I do have purpose. I'm a Christian and I believe in God, obviously. But I still struggled to find purpose in this lifetime, in this small percentage of what Christians believe to be eternity in heaven after this small life on earth, right? Obviously, you don't need to believe that if you don't want to. That's just what I choose to believe in. I'm not pushing my beliefs on anyone. But as a Christian, that's what you believe in. And still, knowing all of that, obviously, I don't know it for 100% truth. You can't prove that. It's a faith for a reason. But knowing that in my heart, I still struggled finding purpose on this earth. And maybe my purpose is to just, you know, be a family man and provide and love my wife and children. That might be my purpose. Because that makes sense to me. Trying to become a super successful guy, you know, just being rich and alone, that doesn't sound so fun. But having a wife and children and even, you know, being mediocre and making a passable yearly income, I'm okay with that, honestly. So I don't know, I was just thinking about that. What do you guys think?